All right, fellas, I'm out in the garage here this morning, and yeah, it's about a little after 10. But boy, I'm gonna tell you what, it's already 82 degrees, and the humidity's pushing 70%. It's a little sticky out here, so I'm gonna get through this kind of quick because I'm fixing to go in the house here shortly. But you know, the grandkids and my daughter and her husband, they all come down with a cold here about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then my wife caught it. And she got over hers about a week ago, and I was thinking that I was in the clear. But you know what? I've been, for the past few days, I've been sneezing a little bit, and I sound just a little bit stuffy. I'm not feeling too bad, but I'm pumping the orange juice down in the water and trying to stay hydrated, and hope it doesn't get much worse than what it is. But anyway, y'all know I've been working on that 55 Chevy Nomad. And boy, I tell you what, I struggled with that paint. I initially sprayed it. I decanted some of the Tamiya TS maroon paint, and tried to shoot that through my airbrush, and it just didn't come out. So I had a heck of a time stripping that paint off, and ended up using the Easy Off. That was after about 3 days in the Easy Off, and every day taking a toothbrush and scrubbing it a little bit. Took it all off. It worked out fine, and I ended up painting it with some Testors, you know, in the little bottle, the Testors Gloss Sunburst. And when I picked that bottle up at the hobby shop, he told me that was the last bottle he had, and he told me that paint had been discontinued. So, I tell you, I'm really liking the way that paint came out, that Sunburst. It's just killer looking. But while I was wet sanding and polishing it out, I burnt through on the rear fin, so I had a heck of a time trying to track down some of that paint. But I ended up finding some online, and I went ahead and bought the 2 bottles they had left. But it won't be here till Friday, so and I'll show you that burnt spot on the fin here. But I just need to touch that up and then polish it back out, and it'll be just fine. But that paint won't be here for a while. But fellas, let me get you turned around here, and we're going to take a look at this 55 Chevy Nomad. Hang on, boys. All right, fellas, this is a kit that I built. This is the AMT 1955 Chevy Nomad. I think the release date on the back of this is October 2022. So it's a fairly new release, but it's an older kit. It's been released quite a few times. If you guys can hear all those katydids in the background, I've got my big tree out front there. I've got their shells hanging on the bottom side of those limbs, just tons of them out there. I'll be glad when they leave and quit making all that racket. All right, guys, I'm gonna turn you around here and show you what I did with this 55 Chevy Nomad. It's my take on it, so you guys let me know what you think here. All right, well, fellas, here she is. Let me scoot up a little bit. I think it turned out killer. That paint, well, I'm just really satisfied with it. Let me show you all here. That paint was this little Testors bottle. It's called Gloss Sunburst. And I dumped this whole bottle in a mixing cup and then filled that bottle back up again with Mr. Color leveling thinner and mixed it up and shot it through my airbrush at about 30-35 psi. And I think she come out pretty killer. I'm digging it. Now, I did wet sand this and polish it. I wet sanded it with, started at 2,000, went all the way up to 12,000, and then I polished it with Meguiar's products. Like I always say, you know, the Meguiar's products, they work good on Ruby, so they should work good on the models, and they do. Let's take a look at the front and rear bumpers. I tucked those in as close as I could to the body because I didn't like how far out they stuck, especially that back bumper. So I tucked them in as close as I could get them, and I think it worked out. Now, like I was saying, that Testors Gloss Sunburst, that I bought the last bottle at the hobby shop, and so when I was wet sanding and polishing on this, I burnt through right here. Let's see if I can see on top of that pin. I kind of burnt through a little bit, so I've got a couple bottles coming in. They won't be here till Friday. I ended up finding a couple bottles online, so I'll get that touched up, and it should be just fine. The got a nice little stance. I gave it just a little bit of a California rake in the front, and the wheels and tires, those come from Jay's Wheels and Tires 1948 off eBay. And then I painted the wheels with I took some of that chrome out of a Maltol chrome pen, and I shot it through my airbrush, and I think it came out pretty good. I like displaying it with that glass up there. You know, everything does work. I'll show you here. That goes up. This comes down. Everything does work. And something else here, I got to touch up too. Forgot about that. You see the hinges down there for the tailgate? When I painted that that interior piece there, I shot it all flat black, and I forgot about those sticking out the back, so I'll have to touch those up too. But that won't be a problem. That's easy fix there. That's easy peasy. But that's the way I'm going to display it right there, with the tailgate up and the glass up. And the old boy, he left that pack in there. He wanted to keep an eye on those RPMs, so he left her in there. The interior, can't see a whole bunch of it. I don't know if I can't see a whole bunch of it in there, but it's a nice caramel color. And I'll show you all here. This is what I use. I use a lot of this Rust-Oleum. That's called a satin warm caramel. I use a lot of that for small parts. Interior, it works just fine. And just don't forget the Iceman here. That's where I buy a lot of my engines from. Got some good products. I'll be using that 10% off on my next purchase. Take a look here from the bottom. Nothing special, guys. I did have to lower the rear differential in the front as well, and reset all those ladder bars and everything. But it turned out pretty good. I'm pleased with how it came out. Glass all fit fine, didn't have any issues there. All the trim that you see is bare metal foil. Everything around the headlights and the windshield, all the doors, that's all bare metal foil. I'll tell you what, I think I pulled out the last two hairs in my head, especially this here on the back, all those bars. That boy, I tell you, it's just nerve-wracking for me. But I think she came out pretty good. I'm just digging the color. You know, when I found some more of these bottles online, they had 2 bottles left in stock, so I bought them both because I'm going to paint something else with this color, because I just really like this color. It's just a beautiful looking color. I ended up getting those spears. I was really worried on those long runs, getting you know, using my X-Acto knife and cutting a straight line, and I think I got them pretty good. They both look pretty straight, nice cuts, so I was pleased with that. But fellas, I think about all I got here. I'm gonna cut the video here because it takes 2 hands to open that hood, and we'll take a look underneath the hood there and see what we got in the business end. So hang on here, fellas. Alright, fellas, let's take a look down here in the business end now. The old boy that built this 55 Chevy Nomad, he decided to go with a small block 327. Nothing fancy. What he wanted to run. I mean, it's working out fine for him. I did add the master cylinder there, and I ran the plug wires, got the clamps on the radiator hose. I can tell you the truth, I can't remember where this engine come from. I think this was the lower end of this
the block and everything, and the oil pan was the stock engine, and then I think I added a different, out of the parts box, a different intake, carburetor, and air breather. And boy, I'll tell you what, that front grille was a chore. I couldn't get it to line up. I tried spinning it around, just couldn't get the hood to fit right, and finally found the magic position for it and got her to work out, so I was pleased with that. Well, let's see if I can tip this thing over. We'll take a look on the bottom side here. Nothing special. It's all flat black on the bottom. I painted the shocks, and nothing special, guys. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I just think it turned out killer. Let me see if I can get this to close now. There we go. All right. I like it. I like the way it looks like that with the tailgate up and the window down. I think that looks killer. All right, let me see if I can pop this hood back on here, and there we go. Fits fine. I just love the look of these 55 Chevys, whether it's a a hardtop 210 or Nomad. That grill just gives it an aggressive look. I just dig it. All right, everybody, I think that's going to about wind us down on the completion on this 1955 Chevy Nomad, the AMT kit. Let me know what y'all think about this one, guys. All right, that's about it. I'm done.